In the past few years, the Media Laboratory at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology has initiated an ambitious program in prototyping media systems which understand the content of the messages they convey. If the most recent transformation in media technology has been the shift to digital encoding, the next transformation will be encoding that describes the content of digital media. The Media Laboratory is particularly well positioned to research this question because of our diverse faculties in computer vision, image processing, interactive cinema, and artificial intelligence.
The challenge of representing video or other media is that we have to describe it at many different levels. Who's there, what's happening, the camera's exact view on what's happening, and the background which makes the event significant to us. For instance, how would you describe the bit of video that you're looking at right now? Well, it's winter, it's overcast, there's a bearded man, me, looking into the camera and talking. Behind me are some trees and a building. It's about a medium shot, and now I turn and look off camera. Our curious camera operator pans the camera to look at what I'm looking at. The point of content description is retrieval, selecting the segment of video which you want to see. The point of retrieval is repurposing, using that segment in a new way. For instance, this shot of the Media Lab would make a nice establishing shot for a video. Okay, we rigged that one. But it shows something which happens with video and image all the time. The reuse of something which a camera team or photographer has already gone to the expense of making. The problem with this sort of reuse is that if you want to find the shot that we just shot, you need to be able to find it based on our description of it. One approach to this that we're exploring is a media annotation system being developed by Marc Davis, one of my graduate students at the Media Laboratory.
Hi, my name's Marc Davis, and I'd like to tell you about media streams, a system that we've been developing here at the MIT Media Laboratory for annotating the complex structure of temporal media, like video and audio. In media streams, we're trying to create a graphical representation of the content of video and audio. We've created a media timeline. The horizontal axis on the timeline indicates time. Video is fundamentally a temporal medium, and most of its descriptions, particularly those relevant to repurposing, are about change over time. The vertical axis is divided into tracks, indicating what we can say about the video. Some of the information we get automatically. Here are thumbnails taken one every second, which give us information about content at that level of granularity. Underneath that is a videogram. This is an idea developed by Ron McNeil of the Visible Language Workshop here at the Media Laboratory. We take a 4-pixel wide strip from the center of each frame and line them up into a videogram. This is very useful for indicating camera motions and especially for scene breaks. We also have digital audio information as well as automatic pause detection in the audio. Other information needs to be annotated by the human logger. Time, when something's occurring, space, where, important people, objects, actions, the relations between people and objects, like next to, on top of, beside, screen position, camera motion, weather, and any thoughts that the logger may want to enter about the content. In some ways, the media timeline is like a content VCR. Let's move to the point where a new character enters into the scene. Well, it's Ken, and sure enough, the Ken icon appears in the character's context. If we want to annotate what Ken's doing, we go to the icon palette. It stores a set of iconic descriptors relevant to the content of the scene that we're going to be describing. Here again, we have time and space, characters, objects, camera moves, actions, screen positions, weather, relative positions, and thoughts. Let's annotate what Ken is doing in this shot. So we'll take the icon for looking and annotate that Ken is looking at the camera. He's looking at the camera. He also happens to be talking in this shot. We can also annotate Ken's screen position. And we have the beginnings of an iconic graphic description of what Ken's doing in the shot. Let's hear what he has to say.
The challenge of representing video or other media is that we have to describe it at many different levels.
We haven't annotated where Ken is. Let's go back to the beginning of the scene where he enters and enter that annotation. Here's an icon for outside the Media Lab in Cambridge. Where'd that come from?
Well, the icon was there because I was there. Marc had told the computer that I was in the frame, and based on that knowledge, it went and found similar segments, and since the Media Lab and I often co-star in segments like this, it was able to figure out that the Media Lab might be there and offered that on the palette. This illustrates an important element of our approach to description, the use of what the computer has already seen.
So now we can annotate that Ken is actually outside the Media Lab. Well, where do all the icons come from anyway? They had to be designed by hand, and we have a fair variety of different kinds for actions and other things. There's a question of whether the set of consensus descriptions converges or diverges. If we need 10,000 icons, we're probably okay. 100,000, we're in trouble. But our guess is that because we are creating physically based descriptions of what the user can see and hear, that is, the shared content which people use in creating personal interpretations of media, that our iconic language will converge. And it's okay if we have to create new icons from time to time. The more difficult problem is finding the right icon among these thousands. Right now we have a browser which gives a sense of the space of icons, and in which you can find the right icon fairly quickly by cascading down through hierarchies which correspond to the context in the media timeline and the icon palette. This search can be accelerated by using an icon you already have as the basis for a new search. We are also exploring using text or voice to identify icons, but we expect the biggest advantage will come from background information. I need an establishing shot for this video that we're making. Media Lab, 1990s, late afternoon, winter, outside, wide shot. Do it. Find similar segment.